Alright, here again today. Thank you all for joining me. My name is Jessica, and my narrative today is going to be about me, myself, my fiance, and our daughter. It'll be all about August the 3rd of 2008. On August the 3rd at about 4 o'clock a.m., I was 9 months pregnant, big as a house. However, the day before, I think I did pretty much anything and everything a person could do to make your water break. I went walking. We stayed on the second floor. I think I did about 5 laps up and down the steps trying to get my water to break. I was huge. It was August, so it was still summertime, so I was miserable. But I walked around. I went swimming. I walked around the apartment complex. I took the steps. I did anything I could do to try to get my water break, but of course by bedtime my water hadn't broken. So I was a little upset. But anyway, so I went to bed, and about 4 o'clock a.m., I rolled over and I got up and I decided I was going to go use the bathroom. I had to use the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, and I think a lot of people think I'm exaggerating, but I had gained like 140 some odd amount of pounds while I was pregnant with my daughter, in addition to what I already weighed. I weighed about 140 before I got pregnant with her. So I was huge. So I go to the bathroom and I was like, okay, I'm just sitting in the bathroom. A little personal, but as I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm big. So every time I went to the bathroom, I would just sit there for a minute to catch my breath because I'm tired. Like I was literally just tired. So I'm sitting there and I start hearing this water running. And I'm like, where in the world is this water coming from? Now me, I watch scary movies and I hate watching them because anytime something happens, I revert back to the scary movie. So as I'm sitting here using the bathroom, I stopped using the bathroom, the water's running. I'm like, what is this water? I looked behind the toilet because in the scary movie, I think it was Final Destination, where the water ran from behind the toilet. And so I'm like, okay, maybe the water ran from behind the toilet. So I'm looking around the toilet. I done moved the shower curtain. I'm checking the sink, checking the faucet and everything. I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I get up and I'm getting ready to, I'm washing my hands and stuff, and I'm getting ready to go back to bed. And next thing you know, I'm feeling water running down my legs. I'm like, I know my water ain't broke. Like, I know I ain't peeing. So I'm like, Terrence is laying in the bed. I'm like, babe. And he sits up. And I'm like, babe, my water broke. And he's like, how do you know? I was like, because there's water running down my leg and I didn't push it. So he was like, oh, okay then. Well, come on, let's go to the hospital. He had been ready for about a month with our hospital bag and everything. He had been ready for about a month. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not having any pain, so I'm not ready to go yet. So I get on the phone and I call my mom. And I'm like, Mom, what happened when your water breaks? Like, what are you supposed to do? So my mama, it reminds you it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. She was like, I don't know, I never had any kids. So now at this point, I'm in distress. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what? I didn't know whether to be depressed, stressed out, emotional. Like, I just didn't know. So I'm like, what do you mean? Am I adopted? And she was like, no. Every child I've had has been through a C-section, so I never had the opportunity for my water to break. I said, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? She said, well, are you in pain? I said, no. She said, well, wait it out then. I said, okay. Me, not ever having a child before, I went and took a shower, thinking I need to take a shower because my water broke. So I took one shower, and as I get out of the shower, I'm cleaning up towels and stuff. Water comes from where? So I got back in the shower. And then at this point, I'm just using every towel that's possibly in the household. My mom was like, just wait till you get a little pain. I said, okay. So I took the towels, put them in the washing machine. Meanwhile, I decided I'm just gonna wash dishes. So I'm standing at the sink over a towel, washing dishes because I'm nervous. So I'm trying to find things to do because I don't know what to expect at this point. So after that, I think an hour or so had gone by, and it was about 5:40 something or so. And the hospital wasn't far away from the house. So I got Terrence up. I was like, babe, come on, let's just go to the hospital. It's been too long and I'm still not having any pain. So after we get to the hospital, I'm walking in. I'm embarrassed because now I'm wet, but there's nothing I can do to stop this water. And I'm like, I don't want to go in here. I'm wet, my pants wet. And, so we go in. And I said, ma'am, you ready to go back? Because you like your water broke. I'm like, yeah. So we get to the bed. I'm happy-go-lucky. I'm just like, okay, my water broke. I had no pain. It's going to be a free and easy birth. I'm excited. So I get to the bed, and she changed me into my gown. She said, well, Miss Thomas, you in pain? I said, no, ma'am. I said, I feel good. She said, okay, well, go change, and we'll get you in bed and start you on Pitocin. I'm like, what is that? And she was like, well, it's gonna help you start your contractions. I was like, oh. And so after I got in and she started me on Pitocin, this is probably by far the worst pain is when I get into these cramps. So Terrence is in and everybody's there and all these hours that went by and my daughter stopped responding while she was in my belly still. She stopped responding to all the monitors. So they ended up hooking me up to a lot of different monitors to get her to respond, because if she had not responded, then I would have had to have a C-section. But by this time, she done started beating on everything, and it's like she just woke up out of nowhere. And so after that, I think close to about 4 or 5, the doctor had started coming in to check my cervix and stuff. I may have dilated maybe 3 or 4 centimeters. I didn't dilate much. And so the doctor asked if I wanted to have an epidural, and I said sure, because the cramps were unbearable. I had the epidural. A couple more hours went by, and I was telling the doctor, I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel pain again. I need another epidural. At this point, I'm beyond 7 centimeters. I can't have another epidural because that medicine can affect your birth. So now I'm upset because my epidural is worn off. I hadn't dilated enough to go ahead and give birth. So now I'm just feeling pain. So eventually the nurse came in. She said, oh, Miss Thomas, you got about 30 more minutes before it's time to push. And I'm like, 30 minutes? I can feel like hell. So then the doctor went out and come back in, and then the nurse said, well, Miss Thomas, you got about 15 more minutes. And I was like, she just said 30. So that nurse go out, come back in, and the next nurse was like, okay, well, Miss Thomas, you still got about 30 to 45 minutes. At this point, I got mad because I'm like, I can feel her head coming out. Like, it's not going to be 30 to 40 more minutes. So eventually, it was about 10 more minutes. I sent my sister out in the hallway to go get the nurse because I told her I was getting ready to push. She was coming out and I couldn't hold her. So then everybody cleared the room, and I think about 6:06 a.m. No, p.m. I'm sorry. 6:06 p.m. is when I finally gave birth to my beautiful daughter, and she came out about 7 pounds and 2 ounces and about 20 inches long. And the joke of that whole entire story was when Terrence decided that it is taking you 12 hours to give birth to our daughter. Had I known that, I would have dropped you off.
Like, girl, I'm gonna come back and cheese on the way.
So overall, the experience was really dramatic, but I enjoyed it, and if I had to do it again, I really would.
That's a great
Thank
story.
you.